The garden was dying, but its soul clung stubbornly to life beneath the wilted blossoms. Have you ever stumbled upon a place so forsaken, so drenched in neglect, that it feels as if the city had deliberately excised it from memory? The old community garden sat like an afterthought between towering graffiti-marred apartment blocks, walls alive with flickering neon signs, their weary hum melting into the night like distant, restless ghosts. Early autumn bled slowly into night, the dying sun dragging elongated shadows across cracked concrete slabs and brittle leaves, shadows stretching long and silent as mourners at a forgotten funeral. A crisp chill, sharp as broken glass, brushed my skin, whispered promises of the coming cold. I stood before the rust-stained iron gate, its hinges groaning, a wet, ragged sigh torn from steel that shattered the suffocating stillness. The garden should have pulsed with life. Bright bursts of color, buzzing bees crafting delicate symphonies, the earthy breath of hope rising from rich soil. Instead, it felt as if the earth itself was holding its breath, suffocated beneath a shroud of despair. Crimson dahlias sagged like faded bloodstains, pale impatiens curled inward like whispered secrets, and marigolds drooped with the slow resignation of drowning flames. A fine dust settled over them, mingling with the bitter tang of discarded cigarette butts scattered like forgotten bones. Their petals hung heavy, crippled pages in a book no one wished to read. My boots scuffed against the fractured path, dragging reluctant echoes through the gathering gloom. A faint scent invited me, delicate floral notes trapped beneath layers of rot and smoke, bittersweet as tears distilled into perfume. I could not tell if the grief growing inside me was mine alone, or a resonance pulled from the garden's aching breath. The silence around me was a thick, suffocating shroud, swallowing every footfall like an endless maw. I whispered, "Ragged and absurd, how did you get so broken?" The words fell limp into hollow air, yet stirred something, a faint, icy breath skimming the nape of my neck. At first, the garden seemed to echo only memories of its former splendor. Then, near a thorn-ridden rosebush at the far end, movement flickered, a single petal trembling, though the air lay still and barren. My breath caught, eyes fixed on that quivering leaf. The dry leaves stirred again, a whispered rustle like brittle bones shifting beneath soil. For a heartbeat, a slender, pale silhouette slipped behind the crumbling bench, a wraith woven of fading light and shadow. A shudder skimmed down my spine. "You're here," I breathed, voice fractured and trembling, somehow still here. But no figure broke the darkness. The next day, drawn by a reluctant ache, I came back as sunset poured molten orange over shattered pots and cracked terracotta gnomes, silent sentinels suspended between whispered yesterdays and sorrowful tomorrows. Twilight seeped thick and slow, a heavy veil pulling down shadows until a soft humming threaded through the air. Not a melody but a mournful lament, a lullaby whispered by lips long hushed, weighed down by endless tears. Kneeling beside a defiant cluster of violet pansies, petals stirred again. This time unmistakably shaped like a fragile hand, its skin translucent, trembling as though plucked from some half-remembered dream. It pressed gently earthward, ephemeral and fragile, catching the borrowed twilight like a ghost holding on to fading life. My breath stuttered and stalled. "Who are you?" I whispered, voice small and breaking. "What did you lose here?" The garden seemed to pulse in answer. Shadows thickened, curling and breathing like dark tendrils wrapping around my ribs. This was no mere patch of struggling flowers squeezed between grey towers. It was something more. An ancient sorrow breathed into root and leaf, a spirit scarred and weathered, clutching grief as closely as whispered secrets born on midnight wind. I tried to step back, but my feet betrayed me, entwined as if rooted to the earth. The bitter perfume surged stronger now, laced with cold ash and something metallic beneath. The air turned razor-sharp against my skin even as a burning ache writhed beneath my ribs, a fire smoldering beneath frost. Then, a voice broke the silence, soft, fragile, not from shadow but from within. "Don't forget me." Days slipped like smoke caught in restless currents, memory frayed and faded into the present, lost fragments dissolving between waking and dream. The flowers pulsed with a fragile life, opening at the merest rise of hope within me, then snapping shut as despair's heavy hand reclaimed its hold. The garden mirrored my grief, entwined twistedly with the city's indifference, roots sunk deep in neglect. One dusk, as crimson bled slowly down the horizon, I found my voice breaking the silence, speaking aloud to the fading blooms. "If you're trapped here, caught between wilt and bloom, maybe you're waiting for peace." A sudden chill sliced through the air, the breath of the garden itself inhaling shakily. From the withered marigolds, a figure coalesced. A woman spun from translucent petals, her eyes dark infinity pools reflecting bottomless grief. "I am Alma," she said, voice fragile as dry rustling leaves. "I was the soul that once gave this garden life, until sorrow took root too deep." Her gaze pierced through me, laden with oppressive sadness as thick as winter fog. "I cannot leave. I cannot die, not while these flowers remember." Time fractured, my heart splintered beneath the weight of that silent truth. "Is there no hope?" She smiled, soft, resigned, a curve shaped by melancholy and acceptance, only acceptance. As night swallowed the last remnants of light, she reached out, fingers brushing mine like fallen leaves drifting helplessly earthward. Then the garden fell cold and still, empty once more. Alone, yet irrevocably haunted, I carried Alma's ghost and the heavy burden of the flower's fading soul. Now I walk past that locked gate, feeling still the breath of that chilling wind, inhaling now that bittersweet perfume, an echo of sorrow lingering, bleeding quietly beneath the veil of time. Because some places do not simply bleed history, they bleed souls into the cold, unyielding dark. Dare to step closer. Tell us what Alma's lingering sorrow whispers to you, and subscribe to uncover more shadows lurking just beyond the light.